My Mark 8.5 Golf GTI Clubsport opportunity. Yes, as you can see from the car that are showing on screen, I've got the opportunity to spend 4 days with this car over the weekend. And really this video is just to explain to you about the spec of this car, also to ask any questions that you have in the comments that you'd like to know about the car. I'm super excited about this. I've driven the car for about an hour or so at an event, and this is exactly what you're seeing on screen. That's the time I spent with it. And this is actually the exact car that's getting delivered to me, and I'm really excited to kind of share it with you and really get that sort of in-depth kind of experience with the car. And as you can see, that what just flashed up there, it's a really nice spec. In fact, actually, I think this is probably, well, it was one of the most enjoyable cars I drove on the day, and I drove a lot of really great cars. And I feel that there's a couple of reasons for this, because I drove this back to back with a Golf GTI Clubsport with 19-inch wheels, and I found the experience profoundly different, mainly because of the different tyres. And I'm really keen to see what the whole car, the experience is like, again, living with the sort of like the infotainment, living with the car. And I've got a lot of cool things planned, actually. I've got plans to meet up with another Clubsport owner. He's got a really great car, which you may have seen on the channel as well. I'll put that on screen, this ice blue metallic one. Catch up with his long-term ownership, because he's owned the car for quite a few months now. And that's always quite a good way to kind of get an idea to help you guys out. And then I've also got plans to meet up with a standard Mark 8 GTI, not a Clubsport, for a bit of an ownership update. I'll go for a drive in that one, hopefully. And yeah, basically over the 4 days, lots of things planned. And yeah, to share this exact car and yeah, a bit around the exact spec with you guys. So yeah, really excited. And as you can see on this just last clip, well, I say last clip, this is a Clubsport in a different spec. It's got sort of like the Queenstown alloy wheels. I love the neons at the back. I've actually done a video on this car, and it's up to 125,000 views on YouTube. So yeah, shows how much colours and things work. Maybe it's the blue sort of underglow neons at the back. But the specification of the car can be so important. Obviously, colour's subjective, but I really feel there's a few things to go into. This one's actually got the Akrapovic exhaust on it there. But yeah, let me talk to you a little bit more around the spec of this car that I've got for 4 days, and a few of the things that, yeah, we can go through there. So yes, I've literally just had this through from Volkswagen in terms of the exact car that I'm getting for the 4 days. So I've got the car just at the start of March, from Friday to Monday. And basically the idea is to drive it, spend plenty of miles in it, and to share a film with you guys, but more importantly to add value to yourselves. And for people really buying this car, or just people just generally interested in it, I want to add that value, and having actually this sent through to me really does help. So some of the options on this car, so GTI Clubsport, for people who don't know, 300 PS, front wheel drive, super great. Yeah, just that's such a cool car. I really enjoyed my time sort of spent in it, and to have longer is going to be really key. This specific car is on the 18-inch wheels, which I'll touch on a little bit, because that really had an effect. I actually found it much better on the 18s. It also has more of a summer tire, but the 19s that I drove had a bit more tracky type tyres, to be honest with you. I believe they were Goodyear Eagle Supersport F1s on the 19s, and I found it quite firm and a little bit louder, actually, maybe the wider section. That is just subjective to me, so I'm keen to know what this one's going to be like. So it's got dynamic chassis control with the 18-inch wheels, which I felt was really good at the time that I spent briefly with it. It's got area view, it's got panoramic sunroof as I'm looking back at this, and it's got the black exterior styling pack as well, so it sort of takes away that red bar at the front. Kind of looks like a Golf R from the front, but it's a Clubsport. Clubsport obviously weighing a little bit less and arguably more agile and fun. Still that 2-litre petrol E888 engine, which is super great. The other options, it's got the Vodafone Factory tracker, something that I probably would recommend, to be honest with you. That's a desirable car. It's something that I would personally go for. And the Oryx mother of pearl, well, let's get the exact word right. Oryx White Premium Mother of Pearl, optional, extra. Now this is something which you can't get on a Golf R. You can't really go above pure white, lapis blue, and grenadine and black, basically. But with the GTIs, you've got more customization to colours. The Oryx White looks amazing, and particularly when I collect the car, which I'll show you, and hopefully from the images that you saw previously, it looks stunning. It's such a cool colour. They did do it on like a Golf R in the Mark 7 generation, but not on this one, sadly. So that's going to be quite cool, and with the panoramic roof. Now, just to give you an idea of some of the specs of this car, with all those options, the price as tested is £47,995 with those ones. But they're actually really key options. Dynamic chassis control really, I mean, for reference, for those who don't know, changes the suspension. You can basically choose so many different settings to make it more comfortable or firm for your kind of liking. Area view is quite cool with the camera as well, and panoramic roof speaks for itself. Quite cool. It's quite sunny today actually, so yeah, good to use it as we're sort of heading into spring sort of time. And the black styling pack as well, and that gives you darkened headlights, black exterior mirror caps, black stripes on radiator grille and the headlights. So a bit more stealth, a bit more incognito actually. I think it looks cool. The Vodafone tracker as well, you get like a subscription of it, and it's a tracker for your car. And for reference, as part of the VW Audi group, that tracker is actually used in other cars of far more value than, I'm not saying £50,000 is not enough, but I've had friends who have Porsches and have Lamborghinis, and it's basically the exact same tracker. So it's a pretty good one. And if you want to help out on your like insurance and bits, I think that's the way to go through and just protect a car, because it's a premium car. Talk about the color being premium. They're not so, yeah, I'm not going to say the word budget because that's wrong, but yeah, you wanted to keep it secure. And then the paint as well with that, it's an expensive option, £1,310 at the price that this car was kind of built up. But if you want that special sort of thing, that really does add to it. And I love it on the 18s, even though it's the standard GTI wheels, not the Clubsport wheels, even though that is the standard what comes on the Clubsport, I like it quite a lot. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to sharing it with you. So the car that I'm driving is actually this exact one. I don't know if you can see it on the picture just there. That white GTI Clubsport from the recent sort of Top Gear magazine, as you can kind of see just from there. Now, I was reading through this magazine, and not to spoil it for you, Top Gear didn't really rate the car. They said a few things which I was really surprised about actually. Something maybe I'll touch on a little bit as well when in the full film to see, because sometimes I just get a feeling for some sort of like, say like a big giant magazines like Top Gear, they're just going to sort of test it in their own way, whereas I'm kind of testing it as like a real live person, you know, and a community type person. You know, I'm going to be using this for normal things. I'm going to head down to the south coast to meet up with a subscriber in Portsmouth, obviously trips to Milton Keynes and bits to collect the car and sort of experience it in the real world. That's how I feel. That's what I want to share, because that's how you're going to be using it. This one was sort of tested on a few things, and they sort of disregarded the car. Basically, they tested it up against a lot of the competitor hot hatches, and it's a good read actually. That's kind of why I bought the magazine. But they just sort of disregarded it. And even though actually it was the 5th fastest car out of the 10 on their Anglesey track. Sorry, this isn't going to come up as well, but I wanted to kind of show you. It was just, yeah, which is basically middle of the park, which is probably all right for a car like that. But they were just kind of like, I don't know, they just didn't seem to gel with it. So I was quite curious about that. They popped it up against things like the Focus ST edition, the Audi S3, the GR Yaris, the Honda Civic Type R. Now I've actually got a Focus ST edition owner near where this Clubsport owner lives. I'll see if I can get things organised and see what real owners who've owned the car for like many months and many miles really think of this car. As much as I love the fact that I get the opportunities with the car, this is 4 days. I'll chat with Clubsport owner and share that in the film. I'll chat with perhaps the Focus ST edition owner, which would be interesting, chat with a standard GTI owner and give you my summary. So I'm really looking forward to sharing that with you, and subscribe to see that video in the future, and comment if there's something that you really feel you would like to know about the Clubsport. I'll just keep it in my head, because you know there's a lot that's going to happen in those 4 days, and I really want to keep you in mind. So subscribe for that, and yeah, plenty more content to come.